you have to move towards something in order for it to get clearer. So pick a direction and start walking.
Yeah.
And then like enjoy it. Like
the journey's the whole point.
Yeah.
And it's unfolding until we die, leave. One thing I want to like remember with create the life you want, and then you're going to keep creating and creating. It doesn't end.
You only get like to do this once in this life of whatever this is. And so having those synchronicities and feeling like you're on the right path, I think takes that weight off your shoulders and helps you enjoy it more. And that's the whole point, is to like kind of get everybody on board. And that's why I think you're wanting to do this, is because we've been on our journey, you've been on your journey, and you've got to experience other people's journeys, and just wanting to kind of share these stories in order for people to relate and find that lightness in their life. And then like, I don't know, the more your light shines, the more it gives others the power to do the same. And so the kinder and happier and lighter and more at peace you feel, the people around you will start to feel that too. And
right here now, I'm gonna dance in the light. I'm gonna shout out for joy. I'm gonna live out this life like I never have before. I'm gonna take every breath as if I had no more. I'm gonna sing every song, yeah. I'm gonna open up my heart and I'm gonna dance in the light. Yeah, I'm gonna dance in the light.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm having so much fun doing this podcast. Welcome to Create the Life You Want, for a dose of inspiration and reflection. Let's see what's up in this next episode. Okay. So welcome. Thank you, Halls, coming to the first episode of Create the Life You Want.
Trial run.
Pre-first
episode.
Pre-first. It's the pilot. We'll see how it flies. And if I were to introduce you more formally, I would like to introduce Holly Gabel. She is a dance teacher, a current college student, yes, a wife, a boy mom, and my daughter. And I appreciate you like doing this, and I hope you're having fun. And let's give a shout out to Erin too. Hi, Erin.
Our one listener.
Yes, our one listener. Other daughter, Erin, lives up in Reno, and she's chatted with me about all the. I've been thinking about this for a couple years, and Erin, she's into she's different vibe podcasts than what we're into, but so love that. And then son Tyler is in the control room back there. And he set up this beautiful space. And thank you, Holly. Maybe I need to require this of all the guests, is that they help set up the space. I don't know. Thank you for kind of helping get us all set up.
I'm very happy with it.
I am too. It's very nice.
It's cozy. It's representative of you.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's really nice. So kind of coming back to the name of the show, and we start with what you've got is kind of like the side tagline, but the name of the show is Create the Life You Want. And I thought a way to kind of guide my guests through topics we could talk about is come back to what does that even mean, and kind of look at those words. So that first word, create, I don't know. It's what I'm suggesting out there to folks is that you can create the life that you want to have. So in what way are you a creator, in your life, in anything, in general?
When I think of the word create, I think of creative. I go for more the creative side, and as a dance teacher, I feel like I get to create dance forms and be creative. Although I know there's people out there that don't feel like they have a creative side, but when I hear create, I think of my creative side, whether that's choreographing dances or listening to music and visualizing what kind of story that could be, or helping you with your podcast cover, or I don't know, designing a poster and what looks good, or designing a room. I remember in high school, you take one of those, what's the test called where you answer all the questions and it tells you like what job would be good for you?
Yeah, the ASVAB.
Yeah,
like,
something like that.
Personality.
Something like that. It's like a personality, whatever, that they make everybody take. And I remember the top thing was that I should be an interior designer. And I thought that was like so interesting. I thought it was so fun. And you know, like when I was little, like I used to draw out like floor plans of houses. And you brought one over that was of like our backyard that I had drawn, and it literally says, do not throw away. Yeah. Like I like to like create things like that. And then the more I thought about it, my best friend in high school ended up going to FITM, and I remember her talking about one of the classes she had to take that was learning about colors. Like she had a class that was about colors and the color wheel and all the things about color. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could never. And I was like, if I did interior design, like really study and make it a profession, like you would have to, it's not just like that looks good and that doesn't look good. Yeah. It's like, well, what texture is that and why do you make the choices you make? Like there's so much more work that goes into it than just being like, I have an eye for things. I feel like I can visualize things really well. That's how I visualize like dances and rooms and floor plans of houses. Like I can visualize it, which is so interesting because like I recently talked to my hubby and he was like, I can't do that. And I was like if you close your eyes you can't like picture what that is? And he's like, no. And I'm like, that's how I get through life, is like visualizing things. So that in the sense of creative, I definitely feel like that's just a huge part of who I am as far as like creating life and the life that you want. I feel like I didn't fully understand like the concept of that until like, honestly, like semi-recently. I feel like you don't really kind of figure out who you are until you're older, obviously, and maybe I'm still figuring it out, but knowing that you have like total autonomy over your life and your decisions and where you want your life to go. And it actually made me think of another friend I had in high school. I won't say her name, but whenever I thought of her, I always thought like, oh my gosh, she was like the popular girl. Like everybody loved her in high school. She should have been homecoming queen. Like she just had this bubbly spirit. Everybody loved her. And I always thought like, I want people to say that about me. Like, and why don't they? And like, if you want people to say, oh wow, she's always so nice, like, then you need to always be nice. Or if you want your reputation to be a certain way, then you need to live that way. And you have a choice to wake up in the morning and be the person that you're wanting to be, if that's the reputation you want. And does that represent who you are and who you want to be? And it was like kind of like an aha moment of like, well, if I want people to think of me the way that I think of her, like I need to be those things, and I can be those things, and not in a fake way that's not like authentic to who I am, but like I need to make sure that I am giving off the energy that I want to give off, and to be like thoughtful behind who I am and who I project myself to be, and is that true to who I am and who I want to be, and that type of thing.
So we were talking high school.
Yeah.
And a little side note, shout out to Anissa, who went to FITM, and hopefully she'll be on the show.
Yes. Maybe she'll be an upcoming guest.
Yes. But I mean, that's interesting because like in high school, like what you're talking about is like this self-awareness. Mm-hmm. And like, and
I never thought of it in high school. I've like look back almost. Oh, okay. And I honestly would have like, I think she would think it's so random if I told her this, but it's been like a thing that's kind of stuck with me, however small and random it was, and that it's her and whatever. But I just think of like, I don't know, the feeling that you get when you're around somebody, it sticks with you. Mm-hmm. And so to be self-aware enough to know, well, what kind of energy am I giving off? Am I making those impacts in people's lives that I don't realize and do not realize until it's at your funeral and everybody's like, she used to be such a this and such a that. And I don't know. And like, this is your current present time, and to give that off now, and why wait? Or if you want to change that, you have the ability to change that.
It's interesting to reflect back because high school's such a, everyone's trying to find themselves or project themselves as a certain way. And I seem to recall you being highlighted in high school for a particular thing in the yearbook.
Yes. See, and even that was like, I knew that I was funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was like funny enough to be voted out of the entire school. Like, you should be class clown. Most people knew me as the dancer.
Yeah.
Because I was at the rallies and like that's what my whole life was. I didn't have like a life really outside of school socially because I was always at dance and I chose dance to be my main focus. So I felt like everybody just knew me as the dancer. So to then be the class clown and be funny too was like kind of like fun. Like, I'm more than just a dancer.
Yeah. And then the flip side of that, though, in the dancing that you would do was often like very serious and very lyrical and making people cry. And so I mean, like you do have this way of projecting and helping people feel, whether it's we're laughing or we're being moved by this music and they're crying, maybe not like legit crying, but of course mom was, but yeah. So how, like, I think it's unique that you're able to put both of those things out there into the world.
A lot of comedians and the funniest people out there usually have like a deep side to them though. So I feel like whatever that is, it's common. Like it's almost common to kind of have those polar sides to yourself. The very outgoing, funny, put on a performance, and then like deep, intuitive, emotional, like think deeply about things too.
Yeah.
So that's what I even kind of try to get out of my dancers. Like when I recently went to my alma mater, Mount Whitney, to choreograph the last piece that I just did, we had like a conversation about like kind of like the story behind the piece that I was doing. And I was kind of explaining like you either tap into a past feeling that feels genuine, that fits the story. So you're either like kind of reliving, or I called it like living or reliving a past experience or an emotion or something that you've had actual experience with, or you're acting. You're either living it or you're acting it. And I think me as a dancer, I had fun doing both. I would go out on stage and like we'd be bawling our eyes out because we were dancing about something real that was actually sad. And then there'd be other dances where like you'd hate the song, you'd have no connection to it, and you go out and you fake it.
Yeah.
And you'd fake that emotion, or you'd fake that you were the most confident, like, sassy girl there ever was. And so you're either acting or you're living. And so it was like a whole conversation that I started, like, my choreographic process with them, was for them to kind of write out. They looked at the lyrics first, we listened to the song, and then they kind of circled or highlighted certain words or phrases that stood out to them. And then I kind of gave them this spiel about living and acting and like kind of trying to have them connect, because they're also in high school still. So there's like some kids have things to draw upon and some kids don't. Like, I don't know how much hardship I had in life at 15 versus twice that now. Like, so I was like, I understand if you don't, but at the same time, high schoolers are also like, everything's emotional and everything's a big deal, and it's breakups and it's friendships and there's home life, and like these kids have more that they're dealing with than you realize. So I was like, let's go there, let's see what happens. So they were supposed to kind of write out and decide whether they felt like they could connect to a lived experience. And they kind of, I said they could just bullet point it. You don't have to give me like your life story, but like bullet point that moment or that feeling in your life that you've experienced. Or I want them to imagine it's like a music video and they're acting something out, and what scene are they acting out? Like, what's happening in the scene and how can they act and portray whatever they're trying to portray. And so then every time we would go and actually dance it, then their movement had like a reason behind it, because I wanted this to be a very meaningful piece. I didn't want it to be about the tricks or being super clean even. Like, I wanted the movement to tell a story and to like come from somewhere. And so that's what I kept referring to as I was choreographing certain movements. Or, okay, I want you to reach, but how would you reach if you were in that moment and you were reaching towards this thing or that person or something like that? So then they had like, then they weren't just dancing the moves, they had the reason behind it, and that reason might look a little bit different on everybody, but it pulls that emotion and that purpose out of everybody the same. So whether the movement actually looked like clean or not wasn't really my goal. It was, are they getting the purpose across and relating to that part of their lives, I guess.
What I love about all of this that you're sharing is...
That was kind of a tangent.
It's sort of like a kind of a metaphor even, like as you're talking about it, like, so you're creating, but you're teaching them how to create. There's this level of awareness that you're teaching them, and a level of, you can make choices. Like, you can go back to this sad time and bring it forward. You don't have to roll around in it for the rest of your life. And I think, in some of the coaching that I do when I'm working with folks, it is about these choices, these creative choices. And if someone's wanting to move in a different direction in their life, like, they have a choice whether they don't have to go back and roll around in that, because I think that's where people get stuck sometimes. So just that exercise of them bringing it and feeling it, and then it's like, okay, and now I'm moving on. Like, I don't have to roll around.
And you can see that in a really powerful way, like on a big scale. When you watch, it could be even a movie, it doesn't have to be dance per se, but like when I watch a dance, when like everybody on stage is in that, you can feel that. It's powerful. And that's what people can't put into words, of like why something can be as powerful as it is. Like, I just don't know. It just made me feel like, and I feel like that's when everybody has tapped into that. And to ask that of like a high school dance team could be like far-fetching for me, but that's when you go see like a professional company where like these professionals are able to do that and to tell the story. And like, that's what's so cool about art and about dance. And it could be an outlet for them, an outlet for the choreographer who's trying to explain whatever storyline they're trying to explain. So you can feel it. And I feel like those are the moments that you can't explain. It's like that energy, and that's what they've tapped into, rather than just like, I'm going to just go out and do my dance and like whatever. And if that's how you want to live your life and that's the choice you want to make, that's fine too.
Yes. It's all fine.
But you have the choice to like, do you really want to go there? Like, I'm telling you, it's kind of like fun to go there. So like, do you want to go there? Let's go there. Like, let's do it.
So you were talking about how you can like visualize, and when you're creating choreography, you can see it, and not everyone can. I have a friend that can't see it. You're saying your hubby isn't, can't necessarily see it. So does that apply to your life at all? Like, so here you are, you're a wife and teacher, and you're doing all these things. Like, did you sit down and go like, this is what I'm going to create? Or did it just unfold? Do you feel like we have any say in how our life is moving in a direction? Like,
I feel a couple things. I definitely have visions of things, and I think I felt validated in those visions of things when me and you started diving into the human design thing of like, okay, this is why. Okay, this is true. Okay, that is who I am. Like, just that validation of like, okay, that's why I am the way that I am. Because I feel like the word manifesting has become really like popular lately, and like, I'm going to manifest this and this. And I never did like vision boards. I had attempted to at one point, but like, I don't visualize in that way. I visualize in very like detailed feelings of like how it makes me feel. I don't visualize in like, I'm going to put a picture of a beautiful sunrise or a sunset at a beach and like, these colors and this like new purse. Like, I can't just like cut pictures out of a magazine and make like a vision board. Like, that doesn't do it for me. I have to think about like, okay, what do I want to feel when I'm sitting on the couch in my own home? It's less about the vision, I guess, in this sense. It's more about the feeling of like, what do I want that to feel like? Or what do I want it to feel like when I come home from work or when I'm going to work? How do I want to feel? And then adjusting my choices in my life to line up with that. And find those joys and those things that make you feel like that. And then what's stopping you from putting that into your own life? You can't just kind of wait for it to happen. It's like that's part of the creating the life that feels good to you.
Yeah.
I remember when I was living in LA and I was trying to figure out, I was dancing professionally, going to school a little bit, and just started teaching at a studio down there. And I didn't know that like teaching is what I was going to end up loving. And so I was just so immersed in like the dance studio life and always being at the studio and dance, always wearing the athletic clothes, that like all I longed for was like getting dressed up nice and like going to like a very feminine boss bitch job, because my roommate at the time, Anissa, had that. She would like get on her little suits and her heels, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so fun, because it looked like dressing up. Like in hindsight, I think I saw like the performance of it, and like again, that's a part of me, not who I am, but it was a part of me that just was being missed. And so like my sights set on working at Victoria's Secret. So I applied in a bunch of different places, and I killed that interview. Like I said all the right things. I talked about empowering women, and not like that again is against my beliefs or anything, but like, so I was killed the interview, got the job, was so excited. Then I had to go to like a day of training, and I had to watch all like the dumb training videos that's like don't climb on ladders and like all of that boring stuff. And then like I had like my first day, and I went and I had like the earpiece in, and it was like, oh, I wore my cute outfit. I went out and bought like slacks. I bought a bunch of outfits because I was like, this is the new me. Like I get to be this person, and bought a bunch of outfits. Those all went to waste. So I went for my first day, had the little earpiece in, and like was trying to do all the things, and it was like so overstimulating. It like wasn't fun. I was like on my feet all day wearing my little heels, and my feet were killing me. I was like dealing with my knee injury still from dance. So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to take these shoes off. Like I can't do this. And then I remember like we closed. I'm like, oh, thank God. And then she's like, okay, you need to do all this other stuff. I was sitting there. A bunch of the other girls too, we like took our shoes off, you sit on the floor, and we're folding these little pieces of panties to put in the drawers. And I was there until 3 a.m.
I remember.
And we had to lock our phone in like the locker or whatever. And so I didn't know I was going to be there that late. You guys were like freaking out. You called Anissa, who was my roommate at the time.
Yeah.
And she was like trying to figure out where I was and like if I was okay or like, and then I finally get to my phone and everybody's freaking out. And I'm like, I'm done. And I quit.
So on my end, I just remember like calling Anissa and like, is she okay? Because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you're down in LA, and mom's up here, and like we're all worried. And then the conversations, oh, sweet Holly, like these conversations about like you were just crying, like I never want to fold another thong panty again.
No, and then I looked at how much I was getting paid, and I was like, I could do at the time like a 30 or an hour dance private.
Yeah.
And make twice that. And so I'm like, I was there until 3 a.m. and I got how much? Like, yeah. I think part of me needed to like experience what that was like to get a hard no. And then realizing like, I think it was a conversation I probably had with you about like teaching dance felt like I could make so much more money doing it. And it felt like so much less work. That almost like was like a conflicting feeling to me. But then you kind of helped me realize like, but that's a lot of work to other people. Like that's just what you're naturally good at. I can go into a room and teach a class like and wing it and know how to correct things or know how to make somebody better or know how to clean a routine. Being able to just like go and teach dance, I don't think I realized how like special of a talent that was. I didn't think I realized that as a talent or that could be a talent or a gift, maybe less of a talent as it is like a gift that I have. And like lean into that, honey. Like maybe that's more the route you need to go. And I was at that period where I was like, what am I supposed to be doing? I didn't know if teaching was my thing. And so the more I tried these other experiences, the more I got like, I don't like that. Oh, I do kind of like that. And what's similar to that? Like, you just kind of experiment until you kind of find what you think that purpose might be. And then that led me to wanting to teach. And I never thought I wanted to teach, but now it's like nothing fills my cup more than that. Yeah. So I just had to work at Victoria's Secret for a day too.
Well, and I love to like jump in here kind of from a mom's perspective, you know, and really even like generic mom of any child, like, and even going back to our own growth as humans, like we have to experience things and, you know, allowing my children to, and please don't get me wrong, listeners, like I have effed up big time. So here and there, I mean, it's not an easy road being a mom. And also,
well, people could say you guys were like too supportive, that like anything I wanted to do, you guys were like, yes, honey, go do that. Well, and so like, should you have been more like, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. But it was the right thing for me, especially. That's why I think it's so interesting to look into the human design of like my own children, of like the best way I can parent them and like what's going to be effective to them. Because like I needed to go experience all the no's to understand the yes.
Yes.
So if you guys hadn't been supportive, then it wouldn't have worked. But had I been something different, then doing something different on your part probably would have been better. But you guys did exactly what you should have done for me, in just letting me experience all the things and saying yes to everything and then letting me figure it out.
Yeah.
It was like a blessing for me. Now another kid may be different. And so like, that's why I like to look at my sons and see like, okay, how are you going to be? How are you going to be? Like, are you going to need a little bit more guidance? Are you going to need more freedom? Like, and trying to allow them to blossom in the best way they can.
And so we kind of talked about that ability to create, and then that other word in our little show title, which is life, and that's what you've been talking about. Is then life unfolds, and it's those experiences that help you decide. Like you have to just do life, and like you're going to get dealt a hand of cards that you may not want, and maybe it's not like an easy road, a job that's like suddenly overwhelming. And what's interesting as a parent, and you will experience as you go with your beautiful boys, and I did with my beautiful children, and really encouraging as, you know, as much as possible as a parent on what they think they want to do at that time. And, you know, I will speak more about you and I could go on about, you know, brother and sister and their journeys, and I'm so proud of them and what they're doing, and they've followed their journeys and become who they're meant to be, not without like mistakes along the way, right? And you know, thinking about who might be listening out there besides Aaron, maybe there's some moms out there who have either grown children or teen children, and it's like they kind of got to experience it. I mean, I kind of saw in you this connectability to people, like you could teach, and the creativity with the choreography and all of that, and as a teen young woman, and like, but I want to go do this. I'm going to go do this. Okay. And
that didn't come like, it's hard too, because like you graduate high school, and then there's like that big moment of like, okay, what are you going to do? And like you're still figuring it out.
Totally.
Like I wouldn't say until I was like 25. So it's like to encourage them to try different things and not feel like they have to have it figured out, because you don't really need to have it figured out until you're like 25 or later than that. Like don't put a number on it. But I think there is this pressure of like, once you graduate high school, you're supposed to do whatever that is. And I just felt so rebellious against that I was like, I was adamant that I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. Now in hindsight, like, would I have chosen a different path for me? Yes. But I'm very glad that I chose the path that I did, because I got to have the experiences I had, and it's all building me into the person I am. But like, those experiences are what I like to share, like, with my students, because I want them to kind of have the knowledge that I have at the age that I'm at 18 when they're graduating high school. And like, hey, I can give you the advice that I could give you and you can take it or not. But like, I wish that I had known more about what was out there. And like, at the time, dance wasn't what it is now. Like, people were just giving me the best advice they could. So I like to take all of my experiences and try to give that back to those kids who are at that age. And I think that's why I'm drawn to that high school, young adult, college age, like for teaching. It feels like a monumental age in life decision making and creating the life that you want. It feels like a big turning point, and like, well, what are you going to do? And to be able to try different things and not feel like the one decision I make of what to do is going to lead me down a path. Like, you can try a lot of different things. You got time to try a lot of different things, try different things, see what's yes, see what's a no, go explore, go do all of that. Like, that's your time to do that. And then along the way, you'll start to pick apart parts that you like, and slowly that will create your life. Like, you kind of pick out, like, maybe something within your career is really working out, and so that feels good, so we're going to kind of keep that, and then we're going to work on maybe relationship, and then you kind of got that figured out. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with me, is while I was doing all this experiencing and trying different things, then I met Adam, and I was like, ooh, like, marriage material, like, I want to get married, I want to have a family. And then looking at my environment and hating LA, I hated LA, like, geographically.
Yeah. Oh, and you wanted to go down there so bad.
I know.
Yeah.
And family and marriage became like an important thing to me, and so that's why I ended up moving back home. So like, then that was kind of starting to blossom, and then the teaching kind of starting to blossom. So it was like different aspects of my life were kind of coming together once I kind of knew, ooh, that feels like a yes, I'm going to lean into that. And then that kind of got going, and then, oh, I kind of like this, and go, oh, I don't like that, so just try something else. And
I love just how you're describing really life just unfolds, and your willingness to be open and not like white knuckled on what you want.
Well, I was about like leaving and doing that.
Yeah.
And then I experienced it, and then that transformed into something else. Yeah. And thank God you guys let me go experience it, because had you not,
you go in so pissed, like,
you know, like, it would have been worse.
It would have been this regret, and I never knew, and I could have been this, and I would have been an honest guy, and I did,
and I'd be writing a book and be resentful and all the things. Yeah. So it's like, go experience, go do the things. You'll get the answers for yourself, and and like, I came back, and like, life came back, and like, I was then grounded into what I was more meant for me. You know,
I mean, I just appreciate just your willingness to share your ups and downs in your life, because, you know, no offense, Victoria's Secret, but like, you know, you've had these ups and downs, and you've tried different things. I was in a coaching group with Kathy Heller, and she was talking about, and I've had conversations like about this with the people that I work with also. And I just love your story, because, you know, you did think you thought you knew, and then but you got to try it, right?
Adamant too. Yeah. I was feisty.
Yes, you sure were, Miss Feisty. As we dropped you off down there in LA at that random lady's house. Bye. Oh my gosh. But she talked about that people want to search for clarity. They want to know. And you can't know unless there's some kind of movement, because people get paralyzed. And I think that's, you know, one of the messages that I like to share in my coaching and with this podcast is being paralyzed, then you just can't find out. And she uses metaphor. She says, like, you can't move a parked car. Like, you've got to go in, you've got to start it up, and you've got to go in some direction. And maybe the direction is like, I'm going to be in those heels and work at Victoria's Secret. And then that's when the clarity comes. As you don't have it first.
No.
And
you have to move towards it for it to become more clear. So it's like, choose to move, whatever direction, just move, just go somewhere.
Just move.
And if things become foggier or don't feel right, then you're moving in the wrong direction. And if things start to become more clear, then maybe that's your sign that you're moving in the right direction. But you have to move towards something in order for it to get clearer.
Yeah.
Moving further away from it's not going to make it clear. You have to move towards it. So pick a direction and start walking.
Yeah.
And the results and the feelings that you get from that will tell you whether you're on the right path or you need to kind of turn this way a little bit, turn this way a little bit.
Yeah.
And things will become more clear, and then that will feel like, okay, I'm on the right path.
Yeah.
And then, like, enjoy it. Like, yes, there's always, like, looking forward, and yes, you need to keep moving forward, but there's also a way to, like, enjoy the journey a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to just be like, well, I just want clarity. I want that to be clear, and that's not clear. Like, okay, but, like, I don't know, turn some tunes on. Maybe the road trip's, like, kind of fun, too.
And another story that I love, and I can't remember where I heard this one, and it's like, okay, hope I'm not stealing someone's story, but, like, okay, so if, let's say there's a mountain climber, and you're seeing him, like, he's scaling up Half Dome. It's like, so if a helicopter came and is like, dude, want to ride? Mm-hmm. It's like, no, that's not the point. Mm-hmm. It's not the point of being at the top of it or being at the end of the journey. Mm-hmm. The journey's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like, it's the whole point.
Yeah.
And it's unfolding until we die, leave these physical body. I mean, it doesn't finish. It doesn't finish. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing I want to, like, remember with create the life you want. And then you're going to keep creating and creating. Mm-hmm. It doesn't end.
And what you want can change.
Yes.
Maybe what you want right now isn't going to be what you want in 10 years from now. Or look at little things that you want, whether it's the kind of couch you want or the flooring in your house. If, like, the flooring in your house just pisses you off all the time, like, and you're just like, oh, how happy I would be if I just had luxurious carpet or little, like, I don't know why it always is just like house things and environment for me. I'm just like a warm, fuzzy nester right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, then change it.
Yeah.
And you may not have, like, the money to do crazy stuff, but there's such little changes you can make and that you can afford that can bring you that peace and make that journey more enjoyable. So it's not like a miserable journey. You don't want to be miserable the whole time. Yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but, like, generally your life should be enjoyable. You only get, like, to do this once in this life of whatever this is. And so having those synchronicities and feeling like you're on the right path, I think takes that weight off your shoulders and helps you enjoy it more than like constantly second guessing, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing this? Should I do this? Like, I'm just breathing because I'm like, I know it's handled. I know I'm on the right path. Like, I know the decisions I've made have all made me feel better, but have gotten me to the point now where I feel like this lightness and that lightness then spreads to other people. And that's the whole point, is to, like, kind of get everybody on board. And that's why I think you're wanting to do this, is because we've been on our journey, you've been on your journey, and you've got to experience other people's journeys, and just wanting to kind of share these stories in order for people to relate and find that lightness in their life. And then, like, I don't know, the more, my little quotes, like, the more your light shines, the more it gives others the power to do the same. And so the kinder and happier and lighter and more at peace you feel, the people around you will start to feel that too. And is that authentically who you are? Yes. And, like, how good that feels, and, like, letting others do the same. And that's the whole point of it.
1,000%. And it is, I mean, like, we want to make our lives as happy and joyful as they can be, and we want to make the world, I mean, it sounds like totally cliche, like I'm on some beauty pageant. We want to make the world a better place. But honestly, if each person can be more their authentic themselves, and pulling from, I guess it's kind of, it is a religious symbol, but having your light shine, like, because if you're hiding who you are, that authentic self, your light shines, and then it shines on others, and then they can shine.
Yeah.
And I mean...
And wouldn't you like to be around, like, you know, when you're around, kind of goes back to the girl in high school, like, you know, when you're around good energy, whether it's people you work with or students I have or people you see in the grocery store or your boss, or like, wouldn't you love for more people to feel like good to be around? And so I feel like the more you find that within yourself and the more you're putting that energy out, the more the universe brings those people into your life. And I feel like I've even experienced that, like in the changes that I've made in my life, the people that have come into my life are all like great, amazing, like delicious people that like I love that are in my life. And that circle might be smaller, but it's like, it's so much richer. Yeah. And I think that's because I'm giving off the right like frequency and vibe and light that it's now attracting the same thing. And so, yeah, my life is really happy and people around me are great people because it's like, it's give and take. And the more I'm giving that, the more it's coming back to me. And so I'm changing the world, yes, or changing your world and changing the world that you live in and the people that are surrounding you, whether it's random people at the grocery store or people that are with you every day at work or people within your family. Like, yes, you can't change anybody, but the more you give that off, the more it attracts it. And so maybe the more you give it off, some people will start to distance themselves from you, and maybe that's for the better because it's making your life happy and rich in the way that you should be living your life. And sorry if that cuts some people out, then it does.
Yeah. Yeah. So that term joy, and we're inching toward a little close here, but that term joy, I was listening to Diary of a CEO, which like I think I am right now. My little iPad.
I feel like he has like a pen though. He has like a little stylus and he like writes notes. You didn't have to do a background check on me. You know my history. Usually it's like, know, so right? Where were you born?
I know, right?
Hopefully you remember.
I was listening to his interview with Brene Brown, who's also like big fave. The gift of imperfection, like that is, but that's part of the joy of us too. And they were talking about, she was talking about vulnerability. That's like her whole study. And when she says the most vulnerable place, people think it's like when you're sad and depressed. The most vulnerable place is when you're feeling ultimate joy. And that's where we like lose it. But like, so as you look at your life, how has the definition of joy changed for you?
How has the definition of joy? I think it's become less outward and more inward. It's less about like materialistic things that are on the outside or what people see or what you post on social media. And it's more about like when I'm sitting alone in my house, is that joyous? You know, like, and going through like, okay, well, if I get this purse or I get this award or I post this or I look this way or I'm with these people, like it's so outward. And maybe that's because some part of society is making us think that that is what joy and success is. And it's like, what real joy is it's a feeling. It's an internal feeling. It's not an outward, I don't know. It's not the outward appearance. It's the inward feeling of it. And so can you be joyous in a moment and just like close your eyes and enjoy that moment without sharing it with the world or showing it off or being like, hey, look at this? Or yeah, I try to like take pictures of cool moments, but I don't take them in order to like show the world. I take them so I can go back and look at them and remember the joyous feeling I had in that moment. Like it pegs a moment and a reflection of my own feelings. It's not like, I don't know, it takes me back. Like I want to remember that feeling, not necessarily I want to remember that photo. I want to remember the feeling. Yeah. And so I think for joy to stay a feeling rather than an appearance.
Wow. If you could go back in time,
Oh my God, I don't want to change anything.
and I'm not going to ask that.
Okay.
You can go back in time
Okay.
and have a chat with 15-year-old Holly. What would you tell her?
Let's see. What was I doing at 15? Yikes. What would I tell her?
What would you tell her?
You're going to have a really good life. And Victoria's Secret's not where it's at.
So
I told you I didn't want to cry.
I know. That was like we did this questionnaire about. I gave her a little questionnaire about what don't you want to talk about. She goes, I don't want to ugly cry. It's like, well, here we are. And you know what? We just tapped that joy that Brene Brown was talking about, because this is what happens, and this is why people don't want to go there. And
That's what my quote on my arm is. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, it is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Yeah.
And the more you let your own light shine, the
Yeah.
more other people feel willing to do the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's what this is all about. It's about creating the life you want, that life of joy, that life of purpose. And oh my gosh, my dear daughter, thank you so much for doing this.
Yay!
And I don't know, we'll see what happens.
how long did we yap for?
Yeah.
You didn't look at that a lot.
Well, because I knew it would go somewhere. I knew that it
Yeah.
would go somewhere, and it did, and it was lovely.
Yay.
And so, listeners, like and subscribe. I think I'm supposed to say that, right?
Okay, we can't say it like that.
We can't say it like that. How should I say it?
I don't know, because you have to say it.
I know. Well, I hope that this will be shared, and we'll have some more fun people on, and they can like share with their friends.
And subscribing, I think, then it kind of becomes on your algorithm.
Yeah, could be.
You know, so
Yeah.
like if you're interested in the conversations we're having and you want to hear more of them, keep me in your algorithm, and by doing that you have to subscribe
Yeah.
and like it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why people want
So
you to
yeah,
like.
like what she said. We'll say it like that. Thank you again, Holly.
You're welcome.
Okay, I love you so much.
I love you.
Mwah.
Okay.
Thanks, Tyler.
Dance in the light. I'm gonna shout out for joy.